Hey, everybody, welcome back to the Film Tangents podcast.
Yo,
Hope everyone had a happy Halloween. How was your Halloween, everybody? Was it good? Was it spooky?
better have been spooky. If it wasn't spooky, then you're boring.
hmm My Halloween, well, the next morning was spooky.
Yeah.
Because of how much I ended sober October on
How much you
Halloween. And
drank? You were like, "Am I alive?"
yeah. Yeah. There were a couple points during Halloween night where I was like, I'm not sure if this is real or not. Like, I don't know, like when you've had like because there was at one point I was like on my fourth whiskey drink, and then someone in my group bought shots, and
Mm,
so the next thing I know, we're all doing shots. So I do a shot and then continue on my fourth whiskey drink, which is now technically my fifth.
yeah.
And yeah, there was a good like 20 minutes after that where I was like, I'm not entirely sure I'm actually awake right now. Um, but kept we got to the next couple clubs without incident, and it was good. I went as the Punisher.
Mm,
My girl went as Freddy Krueger. We didn't do a couple's costume. It was just kind of like we just grabbed what we wanted to,
yeah.
and we did. We went in the studio and we just went in there and did it.
We did it.
Yeah, but no, it was good, man. Um,
I forget what other
yeah, it was.
music even sounds like. Go ahead. Sorry.
Oh yeah, are you talking about the Drake song that I was just quoting?
Yeah, because I've been stuck in this albums thing for so long, man. I'm just like, at this point, I want to be over. I've gotten to the point. I finally enough. Like now, like 4 or 5 years later, I'm like, I want to be done with this. Like I want to be over.
You're such a completionist, man. Ever since I've known you, you're the most completionist person I've ever
Yeah,
met.
but this is testing me, dude. Like now, like all these years in, this is testing me. Like I want to be done with this shit like as soon as possible.
Yeah, man, I bet. That's how I feel. That's how I feel about my book. Like,
Yeah,
not to just as a point of comparison. Like,
yeah,
'cause I've been working on this same epic dark fantasy novel for almost 2 years now. Because it's an epic fantasy, so it's
mm,
like
epic.
150,000 words.
Yeah,
I'm trying to get it down more. It was 170,000 the first
yeah,
when I finished the first draft, and I've cut it down, but I want to try to get it down to at least like 140 per my editor's
yeah.
advice. But so it's basically like two novels, the length, like the length of two novels.
hmm
But yeah, dude, like I'll be sitting down and I'm like, dude, fuck, man, like it's like 2 years, man, of the same fucking
I feel like that's the thing with like George R. Martin, right? Because like that guy hasn't put out one
yeah.
of those Game of Thrones books like in like I don't know, man, like 15 years, something like that. Um,
He's probably not gonna finish those.
And
I
at this
don't
point, I
think.
don't think he will. I feel like that guy gets in front of the computer or in front of his typewriter, whatever he uses. And he's probably like,
hmm
fuck. He
Yeah,
probably just sits there and then his chin just tucks down.
yeah,
And then
yeah,
he just like veggies out
yeah,
for
yeah.
like probably like 2 hours. And then he goes like, done. Work done.
He like falls asleep sitting up. Like he does that old man thing where he kind of tilts his head down and the eyes close, and then after a few seconds you just hear,
He starts snoring. And he's like,
yeah, yeah,
George, Game of Thrones, where's it gonna go? And he's like,
yeah.
the show ended already. The hype is over.
Yeah, you get sick of the
Done.
yeah,
It's
you
done.
get sick of the same world and the
Yeah.
same
Well, because for
characters.
him,
Like
it would this would be like book like 10 or something. Like it was like God, dude, or like book 7,
I
something
think
like
it's like
that.
book 6 or something like that,
Yeah, but
maybe.
each one of those books is massive. They're like Bible length books.
Yeah. Yeah, fantasy's ridiculous. Like, we'll see what happens if this. I mean, my thing is like a very much a horror fantasy mashup. So
Yeah,
I would very much like it if this one is successful. Like, first of all, if it gets published. I mean, there's so many bridges to cross before I even think about its success.
yeah.
But I would like to think I'll get there. But if
You'll
this
get
one
there.
is successful, it's like I would hope that it thrusts me more into the horror lane and less into the dark fantasy lane,
Yeah.
because fantasy's like a ridiculous fucking genre, dude. Like every time I'm like, "Oh, that fantasy book looks interesting." I'm like, "How long is it?" It's like 800 pages. I'm like,
Yeah.
"Dude." Like,
Ain't nobody
and
got
it's
time for that.
always no, man. Like the Empire of the Vampire series, like the first one was good and long as fuck. And then the second one, I'm like, dude, you're just spending like 5 pages describing this room. And I'm like, dude,
It's
just
too much.
like it's so masturbatory. Like
Yeah.
just this the fantasy authors are so obsessed with world building. And it's
Yes,
like,
they
dude,
are obsessed with world building.
they're obsessed with it. And I think some fantasy authors, honestly, that's all they care about. Like,
I think so too. I think it's like this post Tolkien like thing that happened with
yeah,
fantasy.
yeah, for sure. Yeah, there's like fantasy authors. I think what's his name? John Gwynn. He's like a new famous fantasy author. I haven't read any of his books, but it's like in real life, he's and this is not a personal attack on him, by the way. I'm just kind of making an observation. Like he in real life, he is like a Viking enthusiast. Like he's really
Mhm.
obsessed with Vikings and he does like Viking reenactments and stuff. And then in his books, it's like he'll spend pages and pages describing what someone's got on their utility belt.
Yeah.
And it's just like, ah man, I don't know, man. Like I don't see stories like that. I like even when I was younger, I would get a little obsessed with stuff like that, but
Mhm.
after a while of writing it, I would just be like, I'm making myself sick here. Like this isn't even fun to write this.
Yeah.
Like what really keeps me going are the themes that I'm
The
passionate
ideas
about,
that
what I'm
you're
kind of trying yeah, the ideas.
yeah.
Like, with this dark fantasy thing I'm writing, it's very much about revenge. Like it's very revenge centric and revenge and anger and trauma, like trauma-ish, but more like revenge and anger and the desire for revenge is a topic I'm incredibly interested in.
Mhm.
Um, and so that has been really the fuel that's kept me going over the past couple years is like just my passion for these sort of ideas, even when the characters and the world I'm kind of getting sick of.
Mhm.
But that's just me.
Yeah.
Again, no shade to like someone like John Gwynn.
Yeah.
I don't think about that as a writer or as a consumer of stories. I'm just like,
Yeah.
man, like some of
Well,
this getting into the weeds on
yeah.
stuff like that is really boring to
For me,
me.
the thing that makes me mad with other creatives often, especially when it comes to like long form storytelling and like ongoing series, is and I mean I understand that I can't fault it because sometimes it's just like a vehicle for something for a life, right? Like for George
Yeah.
R. R. Martin, right? Like he wrote Game of Thrones. We had written a bunch of other stuff. That would just happen to be the thing that really kind of like stuck, and so he was
Yeah.
like, "Oh shit, people like this shit," so then he just kept writing it, right? And I personally, based on all the books and based on all the videos, rather, like all the videos about the current state of all that stuff, my opinion is that he kind of just burned himself out of that world. I actually don't think he's ever going to finish it. Like, I think it's likelier that he, like, unfortunately, and this is not me wishing anybody anything, but I think it's more likely that he might pass,
Oh yeah, yeah.
than that he might finish that. So
Mhm.
so it's one of those things where I feel like sometimes it's just like, what's the vehicle to the success, right? And I think for Martin, it was like Game of Thrones, and I think he pushed with it as far as he could, and I think he probably hit like a wall because I've heard a lot of like he said on interviews I think that he created a lot of knots for himself, you know,
Oh yeah. Yeah.
and that he basically said that like for like years he just spent time thinking of like how do I undo this one, like how do I
Yep.
undo this like whole Jon Snow thing. But then it's like he created so many of them that it just seems like it feels like it's one of those things where it probably just feels futile, where it's like, oh, I
Yeah.
undid
Yeah.
this narrative like knot that I had made, but now there's 10 over there, and by undoing this one I made three more. So I think he kind of screwed himself a little bit, like narratively, with that story. And also, um, because of that, he's just been writing other things because he's been having output, but it has been like short stories and like other
Mhm.
things that he's been doing or collaborating with other authers. So it's
Yeah,
interesting
well,
to
good for
me.
him.
That's what I'm trying to say. Like, good for him, but I
Life's
also
short, I mean, it's like
good for him, but I also kind of like it kind of makes me mad, and not even about him, but in this sense, I'm talking about like somebody like, for instance, Kentaro Miura, who was the creator of Berserk, right? Berserk was the same thing with as like George R. R. Martin. Like he had been doing Berserk since like the 80s. And then at some point he just like slowed down, and Berserk became the same thing as like Hunter x Hunter. It was just hiatus,
Yeah.
endless. But the thing with Miura is that he was doing other things. He wasn't like he wasn't. It's different with Togashi and Hunter x Hunter because Hunter x Hunter is just not coming out and Togashi's not doing anything else. He's just sick. He has a lot of issues. There's a lot of health issues. But with Kentaro Miura, he was doing other things. He was just putting
Yeah.
out other stuff. And every time he would put out like another work, I'd be like, why are you doing this? I would get so upset. It's like, why are you doing this?
Yeah.
Like I get it that you're like now rich and famous and you have this like cash cow named Berserk and you don't have to be doing it. You can just do whatever else. But it's like just do the you just finish the thing.
Mhm.
Dude, for years, I was like, just finish, just please finish it, and he passed, and that made me, was that really like hurt. Um, but now they know the work's not finished, and so now we kind of have to wrestle with that. It's just not finished. We're never
Mhm.
really gonna know like what was supposed to happen in that story. Just chapter like 350. That's it. No more
You're talking
Berserk.
about Hunter x Hunter or Berserk?
Talking about Hunter x Hunter. I'm talking about Berserk.
Oh, okay. Oh, Berserk. Okay, sorry,
Yeah.
I got lost at some point in there. Which one you were still
No, talking
talking
about
about?
Berserk because with
I thought
Miura.
someone wasn't someone finishing Berserk
Yeah, but
though.
it's like what's the meaning of that? Because the issue
Yeah,
the
yeah,
issue with that is that this is it's like grasping at straws with that because that it's not being drawn by him. So it doesn't even look the same. He's not drawing it. The guy's dead. you know. And then on the other hand, the person that is finishing it or the person who's in charge of the like getting the narrative through is a guy that was very close friends with Kentaro Miura. And the basis for which he's saying that he's finishing Berserk is based on a conversation that he had with Miura like 20 plus years ago, in which Miura kind of told him, like, I think this is where I'm going with this story. And so that's what he's going off of. But we don't know if
mm,
that's where Miura was going.
sure.
Like, you get what I'm trying to say? So it's like, I feel like
Yeah, yeah.
because the creator of the story is not taking it to its conclusion, it's never going to be the conclusion that it could have been.
Oh, for sure.
And
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
why with Togashi, he came out and he was like, because Togashi, like a couple years ago, he was like, I might die and I might never finish Hunter x Hunter. And then he basically said, like, I have three endings and I'm going to tell you one, and then I'm going to keep the other two. And he basically said, like, the story could end in such a way where it's like, you just cut to the island where Gon grew up, and there's a new kid, and they're gonna go be a hunter or whatever. And that was like that's an ending. So basically, he was like, if I die, just that's the ending of the story, whatever. But I guess the point that I'm trying to make is that it pisses me off
Yeah,
that
yeah.
authors
Yeah,
create a work,
it's tough, man.
become
Mhm.
successful, and don't finish it. I don't hate on Togashi because I know he's sick, but Kentaro Miura that made me upset.
Yeah. Yeah, it's tough, man, when you create something and you're so jazzed about it when you first create it, and
Yeah,
then after
30 years
then
later, still
after
working on
years,
it.
it's like then it's just the work, then it's just work,
Yeah,
you're just like, it just some stories just lose their steam for you,
yeah,
you know. For me, like, I guess right now the motivation is just like, hey, I just wanna have an asset completed. Because like, a completed novel, like, polished and everything, that's an asset,
for sure.
that you can then take to the market.
Yeah,
So that's kind of the motivation for me. And I just don't wanna be one of those people that, like, you know, you can't be one of those people that sits around and is like, "Oh, well, I've just been working on a book," and then 2 years later, it's like, "Yeah, still working on it,"
yeah, still
and
working
then
on
2
it.
years later,
Yeah,
still
still
working on
working
it,
on it.
because it's
Yeah.
like it's
You don't want to
yeah,
be that
that kinda
person.
stuff that's like self-sabotage, and that doesn't
Yeah,
just happen with writing, that happens with
yeah,
everything where it's like,
100%.
it's real easy. I mean, it's still work, but it's when as far as your ego goes, it's really easy to just go to your private study at night
I
and
study.
write in private and nobody's reading it, you know? But it's like what's hard is working on something for 2 years and then literary agents being like, "No thanks."
Yeah,
You know?
yeah, that's tough.
It's like Yeah, like, that's hard, so
It's
it's
tough.
but you gotta do it, like, that's where I'm at, it's like I have all these aspirations,
Yeah,
and it's like, well, what's the alternative? I can't just sit around and be like, "I might be an author one day, I might make a living at
yeah,
this one day."
100%.
It's like, no, you gotta fucking go for it,
Yeah.
but,
It's interesting because there's instances where the opposite is true, and I feel like that was like with Dune, and by opposite I mean like the author kind of getting burnt out of their own story. Because it's
oh,
funny
yeah.
because with Dune, that guy seemingly just couldn't keep himself away from that story. Because
Oh,
like
yeah.
what I understood, like for the reading that I did with Dune, like he at some point Dune was like finished, but he just kept writing more. Like, oh, more Dune, and it's like I thought you were done, And now his son took up on that, didn't he? He keeps writing more Dune, and it's like, how
Yeah,
about we finish Dune? How about we just let it go? How
right.
about that?
Yeah, that one's weird, I
Uh,
just wanting to mine that
I just
same
love that thing so much.
yeah,
Let's
just
go back to that
mining that
whale. Let's
same
let's go back to
site.
it's like that. It's like a little river. It's like let's go back to that Dune Creek, and it's like it's like just dry,
Yeah.
dude. It's just like wet dirt.
There's like there's more
It's,
under there.
you
Yeah.
just like grab all the wet dirt and just like squeeze it. A
Mhm.
few drops out of that. More
Yeah.
Dune.
Now,
Yeah,
story like I don't know, the way I feel, who knows? I'm really gonna figure it out when I really start doing this professionally, but
yeah,
it's like the way feel about stories now. It's like you build these ships and then you just kind of send them off,
yeah,
and it's done. Like I'm like, all right, I don't need to really revisit that ship. It's
yeah,
it's sailing away now.
yeah.
But who knows?
Well, that's
I mean,
often that's
I can't.
often like my
I'm a
grievance.
young. I'm pretty green.
Yeah.
So
Well,
it's
that's
like
often my grievance with television. I know that I always like shit on television. I'm not gonna go on a big thing about it. That's always like my grieve with it.
I've never heard you say that before.
I
You
know,
don't
but
like television?
I know, right? And it's funny because you know this because I think it all started with me like when I watched like Mad Men. I remember I had that conversation with you about Mad Men because I watched Mad Men because of you. And I remember I
Hmm.
had a conversation with you. I remember it very clearly, like exactly where we were. We were like walking through campus, and we were like going to like that building where the cafeteria was and everything. I remember saying to you like, "Hey man, I think Batman's like a little long." It's like I'm in
Yeah,
season
yeah,
7, and it feels like they're just kind of repeating things.
yeah. They retread old
Yeah,
territory and like that.
yeah. I remember
It's like that
then.
second to last season or
Yeah, I
whatever.
remember then. It was just like that's when I started having grievances. Where I was like, it just feels like the story didn't really need all this. And that really has become like my main issue. It's just like to me it's just about like brevity. It's like just the thing needs to be as long as the thing needs to be. And
Yeah,
then when I detect like just like horseshit, just
yeah.
like padding, then I get like really like upset.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. That's my main issue. That's my main issue with storytelling and people. Just padding. That's like what upsets me the most. And I'm just like, what is this in service of?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, because well, yeah, because it doesn't really. I don't know. I'm not even gonna go down that train of thought. Abandoning that, folks.
Abandoning that
Um,
tangent, everybody.
yeah, I was gonna go down a road. I don't really feel like going down that
Yeah.
just for myself. But
Yeah.
dude, yeah, Mad Men was one of those shows that I have this weird love hate relationship with Mad Men. Like I really like it. I think it's a great show, but there's also a part of me that's just like this show's fucking obnoxious, man. Like
It
it's just a
is.
bunch of rich pricks who are like, "Oh, I have all this money, but I don't know why I do anything." It's just like, man, you guys can fuck off, man.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
Don went through some fucked up shit,
He
but
did.
like with everybody, but Don's a piece of shit.
He is.
Obviously, Don Draper, he's a
Yeah.
piece, but
Yes.
you can at least understand his problems. But like the other people, I'm just
Yeah,
like,
there's a lot of other
man,
characters in that show where it's just like, who cares?
yeah,
Yeah.
it's like, dog, man. I don't know. Like again, I don't think it's invalid storytelling. I think it's
No.
all valid storytelling. If anything, Mad Men is like one of the most relatable shows out there. But it gets annoying. It gets obnoxious after a while. Like I remember really feeling it when I think Roger and Joan have a baby or whatever, and then
Yeah, they do, I think. Something like
there's
that.
like there's like an episode toward the end of the whole series where Roger's in their house, and he's like, well, and this, and he like pats his son's head, and he's like, well, this, young little rich trust fund boy has a lot of money saved away in the bank, and I'm just like, go fuck yourselves, man. You guys are so annoying with
Yeah.
this shit. Like, yeah, end the show
End the show.
now. You guys are assholes.
End it.
You have
Yeah.
like no problems. Just shut up.
Yeah.
You know,
Yes.
and everybody's just kind of a douche in that show
Everybody is a
too, where
douche in
you're
that
just
show,
like,
without
ugh.
exception. Yeah.
Except for like Peggy, maybe.
Maybe.
Peggy's. I mean,
Maybe.
she still does like uh sleep with Pete, like in the first episode when he's has a fiance, so she's not perfect, but
No.
she's
She's
the
the closest
nicest.
thing to somebody, you know.
She has the best character in the
Yeah.
show, I think. Like the best moral character.
Yeah. I think the
And
moral of this
everybody
whole
else is
thing.
just a prick.
Yeah, I think the moral of this for me is that after Mad Men, I was like, I'm done with television. I was like, I'm done.
So in a way, I took you off of
You
television.
took me off, dude. I was like, after that, I was like, I'm done. This is not for me.
This is really random, dude, but I was working today and I just burst into laughter while I was working. To the point that Blair was just like, "What the hell are you laughing about over there?" Because I remembered back in my my when I was a young man,
Hmm.
my Reddit days,
Hmm.
my days on Reddit.
Days of your
Back
days
when
of
I was
being banned.
yeah, back when I was a young man of 23,
Yeah.
and dude, I
Mm-mm.
used to move it like 21. I used to on Reddit, uh, what I would do, I had a little what you might call very loosely a debate tactic. And
Mhm.
this is what I would do if I was in a
You
little
were like a bot, dude. Like right,
this
like
is what
these days, anytime that I see any comment anywhere that is like some contrarian like bait, I'm like, this is just a bot. There's somebody botting. There's a bot. There's
I
like some
would
Russian bot or something.
I didn't really troll that much on I didn't troll on Reddit really. I would legitimately like engage with people a little bit. But I would get some people you just get frustrated with, and
Hmm.
then the only way to really deal with that is to mess with them.
Hmm.
So one of my tactics was if I was like in kind of a long thread with somebody and I was getting sick of it, because a lot of people on Reddit, they've just lost their fucking minds. They've lost the plot, you know. And we're going down the thread, and then what I would do is I would go back and edit all my comments to say something else, so it would look like they
What
were
the
just like
fuck?
it would look like they were just doing like some inane fucking rambling. Like if they said like, "Why are you being such a jerk?" Like I would go back and edit the comment they replied to be like, "Well, this has been a good conversation. Have a nice day," or something like that.
Oh god.
And I actually got banned for. I remember getting banned for that, like because the moderators were just like, "Oh, we've determined that you have been editing your own comments to make it look like the users are
Yeah.
saying some inane babble."
Yeah.
Yeah, no shit. That's exactly what I
You were
was doing.
just like creating lists of like how can I get banned in like very like asinine like ways.
Yeah, well, because the ultimate like nail in the coffin was when I would get banned, I would just create a new account. So they call that, I guess, ban dodging, and then that gets you like perma ban basically. So to this day, like if I need to, I haven't even gotten on Reddit in
You
years,
were
but if
perma
I
banned.
needed, yeah, but if I needed to get on there, I would have to use like a VPN or something. I think it might be different now that I've moved. I have
You
no
would have to
idea.
become like a man from China.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
But the funny thing is that
but this is the
they'll
thing.
ban you for that because like or they'll like prevent you from entering because I think they have some software that detects like VPN like stuff like oh they detect that kind of stuff. They'll detect it. They'll get you for that.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I'm telling
All
you.
these,
I'm telling you.
all
Like
these.
it's
No,
happening.
I believe you. These fucking nerds that are sitting around all day, just that's all they do.
Yeah,
Of course.
yeah. They'll get
No.
you, dude.
Stay
They'll be
off
like
Reddit,
this
everybody.
man from China is Jake. He's Jake. Get him. Permaband.
Yeah, stay off Reddit, people. That's my advice. Nothing
Yeah,
good comes from being on there. That's the most destructive one is Reddit, I
yeah.
think, because all that anonymity just makes people complete
It's
douches
also the long. I feel like also
and
what it hurts it too is like
so much horrible advice,
yeah,
so much
yes, and it's all
commiserating.
long form. Like it's all just like it's all people like writing bibliographies, like encyclopedias of stuff, and it's like, it's like there should be like a stricter like character limit. It should be like don't you can't say it should be like a Twitter kind of thing. Like, you can't say that
Mm.
much. If they keep it
Yeah,
short,
yeah. Oh, yeah,
just
you
save
gotta write
everybody some
novels
time.
on there.
Yeah, people just be writing
Mhm.
novels, man. Like anytime that I see something along the lines of like, a conversation about the meaning of the movie, blank, Synecdoche, New York or whatever. And I go like, oh, let me see what's going on over here, thinking that it will be like a paragraph. Every time I
Yeah.
go in there, there's always like a, show more. And then I click show more, and it's like an endless stream of consciousness, like grammatic error, like written and like just nonsense. And it's like, oh God, I'm
Yeah.
not doing this. I
And
can't
then at
do
the
it.
end of it, "Anyway, woof, this was really lengthy. Thanks to anyone who's still here," smiley face.
Yeah, I can't do it.
This needed this today. Ugh.
I always need a too long didn't read thing. I always need like a 3 sentence like this is what that guy said.
Yeah.
you know?
You ever notice too that I don't know if you've ever, like, been in those there were always those various, like, r slash off my chest or relationship advice or shit like
I
that.
have no experience with that.
It's okay, so it's people anytime anyone puts something in relationship advice, like 50 to 75% of the comments are just like, just break up with her.
Yeah.
Like,
and
just break up with her. She's not the
and it's a
one,
bunch of
man.
losers anyway. Like it's a bunch
Yeah,
of people in like a dungeon, and it's like really, I'm getting
yeah,
advice from you,
yeah. It's like, yeah,
Clifford.
like people will be in there like, I'm really concerned. My girlfriend is like eating donuts every night at midnight, and someone will be in there
It's
like,
over.
you're just a jerk. Do
Mm.
not tell her that you feel any certain way
Yeah,
about that. That's gonna hurt her feelings.
yeah,
Her feelings are paramount. You're an asshole.
yeah.
And then there'll be like, there's those ones, and then there'll be someone else, and they're like, just dump her, bro. She's not the one, man. If you can't love her when you should only see her.
Yeah.
You should love everything she does. Just she's not the one. Set her free. Set
Move
her
on.
free.
Start move on.
It's like, oh, shut up. You
Yeah.
know damn well these people aren't doing. You know damn well the people who are saying that are not that cutthroat in their
No,
lives.
they're in a dungeon.
Yeah,
They're
yeah,
in some
you're that
dungeon.
cutthroat. You're
Yeah.
really that cutthroat where whenever anyone you were dating did something like that, you were just like,
Over.
done with
Yeah,
that.
no, it's like, well, they're a psycho. Like,
Yeah.
you need to imagine that any person posting on Reddit is like Buffalo Bill from The Silence of the Lambs.
Boo boo.
Yeah, it's just some creep in a dungeon,
Boo
you know.
boo boo boo. Boo 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 boo.
What is this? What are you doing?
It's the Buffalo Bill song.
Oh, really? Oh, I don't remember that. I've only seen the movie once.
Goodbye horses. Yeah, dude. I had a feeling like halfway through singing that you were really
I
confused.
was like, what is he doing? I pictured it had to do something with some music that I was not registering.
um yeah, no, that you're exactly right, man. That is exactly what you should be picturing. You should be picturing Buffalo Bill tucking his junk and spreading his little blanket out in the
Well,
air
because
and doing
there's
that
because
dance.
there's people in our lives, right? There's people in our everyday lives, whom we wouldn't trust anything they said. you know, all of us have people in their lives that you wouldn't even trust them with like giving you the time of day. You're like, hey man, what time
Yeah.
it is? So be like, oh, 3:15. You'll be like, I have to
Yeah.
double check that. I can't. I don't trust that guy. Like we all have those people. And it's just like, well, how come just because you go on like Reddit or something, now you're taking advice from folks? You
Yeah.
don't know who those people are. They might as well be that person in your life that you don't trust. They're not no professionals.
Right.
Um,
Right.
yeah, so I don't know. It's like just it's like have a couple of friends, have some people that you actually respect, ask them,
Mhm.
ask that person, hey man, have a weird have a weird spot on my toe. They'll probably be like, oh man, just go get that checked out. You don't have to go on
Yeah.
Reddit for that.
Yeah, well, I mean, um,
Ask
what was I
ChatGPT.
gonna say?
Funnily enough, they said
Yeah,
they
ChatGPT.
made they like ruled something where like now ChatGPT cannot be used for like medical advice, I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they have to
That's
like
probably
remove
good.
that function of that thing.
Mhm. Um, the, yeah, well, I was gonna say this too about Reddit comments. It's like the brain prioritizes negative information. So like all you're gonna remember are the people who said like to do the most drastic thing or like whatever gave you the most negative, loop in your brain, whatever caused the most neurons to fire negatively. That's the one you're
Yeah,
gonna remember.
yeah,
Like, dude, anytime I've been listening to a song in my life and someone says like this song sucks, which is like totally fucking rude by the way.
yes.
Um, I'll like I can never listen to that song again without
The
remembering
that
that they
thought,
said
yeah,
that. And like then I'll be like, does this song actually suck? Is this actually a bad song?
yeah, that
Like
happens
my
a lot.
I have that you know what I have that with is Scotty Beam by Freddie Gibbs.
Oh, it's a great
Cause
song.
like I know, dude,
It's like
but like
it's like a
6 years
fantastic
ago, I
song.
was in the car listening to that
Yeah.
and my
Oh my,
peach of an
um, dude,
ex-girlfriend.
how can you hate on a song that has Rick Ross saying, "Am I skating?
Right.
Am I
Exactly. It's like
skating?"
no, that whole album's great.
That
But
that
no,
song's
but dude,
incredible.
because I was driving around listening to that song
Yeah,
with my peach, just a peach of an ex-girlfriend, really nice girl,
yeah,
like just salt of the earth.
yeah.
I mean, man, like
The girl from
ever
Wendy's.
if there was ever
Mm.
anybody that I just look back on and I'm like, man,
How lucky was I?
just
Yeah,
got away. Yeah, she
yeah,
just got away.
yeah.
Oh,
It was that one, huh?
is sitting there. Ugh, this music, this
Ooh,
song, this
not to
text. And I
Scotty
can't listen to
Beam.
that song, dude. I
Yeah,
can't listen to it. I
yeah.
can't. Every time it comes on, I'm just like,
Ugh,
I just remember that.
yeah. You have to
Like,
reclaim Scotty Beam, dude. You have to reclaim it somehow.
I know, dude. I know.
You have
But
to reclaim
I know, man. But it's the same thing with Reddit,
it.
right?
Yeah,
Where you're just gonna be walking around. People fuck your mind up. Don't
indeed.
don't don't put your problems out there for like dozens and dozens of people to
Yeah,
comment
because
on.
to me that's like the most illuminating thing about Inception. I think about that movie often, because of that, because that's a very fascinating idea. That it's like, they're like these dudes going into people's dreams and just going deep enough into their subconscious to incept it with an idea, you know.
Exactly.
And to me, that's kind of how that stuff kind of feels. Like I think about the human brain like that. Like it's like this thing that you can infiltrate, and like
Yeah. Very
place.
open to suggestion.
Yes, exactly, exactly. Very open to suggestion, and you can manipulate it. Um, and all these things are like viruses, or like, yeah, just
Yeah.
yes. But it's interesting that all of the way in which social media continues to develop is in such a way where just more and more and more and more and more, demands like further access, and it's like more insidious how it interacts with like our brains, right? Then you wake up at
Exactly.
3 in the morning and you think to yourself, like, I have to go to Taco Bell. You hear
Yeah.
bells ringing. Dong, dong. Like, I gotta go to Taco Bell. Gotta get, gotta
Yeah,
get
you hear
Doritos,
that.
gotta get Doritos Locos
Bow.
Tacos. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, and develop your own value system too.
Yeah.
Don't worry about what other people say is like what you should do or what you shouldn't do. Like I've seen some of the most insane fucking advice on Reddit that gets upvoted.
Yeah.
Like that has 300 upvotes. You see the troll. I'm not talking about the trolls that say like,
No, it's like something that seems
this
like
is stupid and it
genuine.
has like 4 downvotes.
Yeah.
No, yeah, exactly. It's like something genuine and it has like 400
But it's
upvotes or
super stupid.
something.
Yeah.
And it's like I'll read it and I'll be like, "That's stupid. I would
Mm.
never do." don't share the values with this person. Like,
Yeah.
develop your own value system. Like, I don't care if anyone in my life, for instance, thinks that it's offensive to tell someone, anybody that I love, hey, I'm concerned. You're like waking up at midnight and like
Going to Taco
stuffing
Bell.
your face with cookies or going to Taco Bell. Like,
Yeah.
I'm concerned about that.
Yeah.
There are people out there that are like, no, that's offensive. And it's like, well, I don't consider it, I would rather, um, possibly hurt someone's feelings, and speak my mind than, you know, like be polite and watch, someone do something stupid.
Yeah.
Um, but that's just like
Yeah.
one
Well,
example. But there's plenty of things where it's like, we just have different values. Like, just because someone else says, like,
yeah.
no, you should never, in all caps, never do that. It's like that's their values. It doesn't mean you have to share them. Like,
Yeah.
create your
That's
own.
the interesting thing about that kind of stuff, right? Because to me, that kind of stuff is like having like a firewall, right? It's like you have like, it's like like a computer. It's like you have your own firewall that protects you against certain things, and that's what that is, right? Because that's to me like the very insidious like element of like that kind of stuff, the internet or television and access to that stuff in relation to like children, right? Because that kids don't have that. They just don't have like, or a lot of them, right? Don't have this like thoughts. They don't have these like principles. They don't have like a
Yeah,
firewall in front of their face that's like protecting them from like these like comments or these like things,
yeah.
Um,
Most adults don't either.
exactly. It's so fascinating, It's like it's like a lot of people need to be protected, Children obviously, but also
Mhm.
seemingly adults.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Well,
From
everybody just
themselves and the
kind of.
internet.
Yeah, one thing I've realized as I'm an adult, and I don't by any means think I'm exempt from this,
Yeah.
but I think being aware of it is a good first step. And it's that everybody just kind of repeats what they hear,
Yeah.
you know? Like, if you watch Fox News for 6 weeks, 6 to 8 weeks in a row, you might not be full blown Tucker Carlson by the end, but you'll probably be a little more conservative by the
For
end of that
sure.
8 weeks.
Yeah, for sure.
You'll hear things that are like, yeah, yeah, you know what? That is true.
Yeah,
A
because
little
it's like
backdoor in some other ideas.
yeah,
Same goes for CNN. Like, I could
yeah,
sit this conservative down, make him watch CNN for 8 weeks, and it's
yeah,
like, oh yeah,
100%. Yeah,
yeah,
because it's
I
like this
actually
influx
agree.
of thing, right? And like the only thing that we know is now and yesterday, So it's
Yeah,
like whatever you've been exposed to for the past 24 hours might as well just be your existence,
yeah,
And
yeah,
so like you said, that's really then all and then that's you're just regurgitating that stuff
hmm
for sure.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, that's why you gotta be really careful about what you consume. Like, I don't watch any news really because
Yeah.
I don't want to just watch a bunch of CNN and then be walking around like parroting parroting these fucking anchors that I hear. And same
Yeah.
with Fox News and same with all of it. Like, I
Yeah.
would like to be selective with what I'm consuming.
Yes.
That's why I opt more for like nonfiction books and things like that. And I'm very selective with those.
Yeah.
Like, there's even some nonfiction books where I'm like, eh, I've heard that this is bullshit. Some people are saying this is bullshit. The author's kind of a quack, but in
Quack.
my first thoughts, like, maybe I'll read it just to see what it's about. But then there's another side of me that's like, nice.
Yeah.
But then there's another side of me that's like, I don't know if I even want that influence in there, man. Like, I
Yeah.
just don't. It's like I just don't even want it
Yeah.
near me. You know,
Yeah.
you got to be selective about your inputs. I would say,
Yeah.
because I mean, you go to some town in the Carolinas and they're parroting Fox News, and then you go visit some place in the Northeast or something in the big city, and they're all parroting CNN, and it's like, I mean, I was visiting an undisclosed location in the Northeast
Yeah.
this year, and like, I'm sitting at a table and I'm just listening to all of these people who just obviously watch CNN, and they're
Yeah.
just spouting off. I'm just like, oh man, they just live in that world. That's
Yeah.
just their world. They just watch CNN and then they just say what they hear,
Right.
you know? Um, so your brain's very malleable. It's more malleable than you think. So be
Yeah,
really selective with like what you consume and how much of it you consume is what I would
100%.
say.
100%. I agree with that 100%. Yeah. And I think people really should think about it that way. Um, yeah.
It's like food. I mean, you just gotta. It's like you are what you eat. That old adage. It's like watch what you're putting in there, man.
Yeah.
Because next thing you know, you think at first like, "Oh, I'll just hear it," and then I'm not saying you shouldn't listen to ideas that you might disagree with, but
Yes.
when it becomes consumption is when you need to be very aware of what you're putting in.
Yes.
Um, yeah, I'm not saying don't go to a debate and hear out the other side and things like that. Always
Right.
be exploring other
Right.
ideas,
Right.
but just
But
be
the
careful when it becomes consumption because next
right.
thing you know, a week or two later, you're like, you're like, it's like that fucking bit in Family Guy where it's like, we now return to Breaking Bad, and it's like, Breaking Bad is the best show
Yes.
ever.
Yeah.
Breaking Bad is the best show ever.
Yeah. Yes.
I will tell all my friends to watch Breaking Bad. I will tell
All
all
my
my
friends.
friends to watch Breaking Bad.
What is it? It's like it's the best show ever, maybe other than The Wire or something like
Oh
that.
yeah, yeah,
The
yeah.
Wire. Okay.
Mm,
Every time and anybody would mention the show The Wire, I thought about that. You know, anytime.
yeah.
I would think, oh, that there's that Family Guy bit. Oh, how it's like it's Breaking Bad and The Wire. Oh god.
Dude, I rewatched last week, the week leading up to Halloween. I rewatched that original Invisible Man
Oh yeah, yeah,
that
you
you
watched that
watched.
recently too.
Yeah.
Mm.
Um, I think it was like a day or two before Halloween, and I got this mental image of a guy out on Halloween being arrested,
For
naked.
dressing as the Invisible Man. Yeah.
Yeah, he's naked, and the cops are like, "What were you thinking, man?" And he's like, "I was dressing up as the Invisible Man."
Yeah.
Because that guy's got to walk around
He has
naked,
to
like
walk
in the
around naked.
snow.
Yeah.
He even says it. He's like, "It's cold when you're walking about naked."
Yeah. It's a good impression of his voice.
Oh, thanks, man.
It's a funny, like a weird, like funny voice. Yeah.
I feel so bad for his buddy in that movie, the guy that he just makes his bitch, and then he
Yeah, dude,
kills him at
that
the
guy's a
end.
snake. Cause like, while he's away, that guy's like trying to like see if he can make moves on his like fiance or his girlfriend or whatever.
Yeah.
And then
Oh yeah, yeah.
he's a snake, and then when he, it's funny when he shows up at his house and he's like, oh, you and me, we're accomplices, like you're my right hand. You're like, oh, this guy's screwed. And the whole movie is like trying to. After that, he's just like trying to be like, how can I get rid of this guy? He like calls the police and stuff, and he gets got at the end. He gets him. He gets him.
Yeah, it even says it to him. What was the guy's name? Kent or
It is
something?
Kent.
Clint?
Yes,
Is it Kent?
it is. Yes.
He says it to him at the end. He's like, "All right, goodbye, Kent. It's time to die now." And he goes like, "I think you're a." What does he say to him? Like, "I think you're a little weasel, and I also think you're
Yes.
a rat as well. Or goodbye," or
Yes.
something like that. Like he says something, and then he says, "And I think you're a little
Kemp.
dirty rat as
Yeah.
well.
Kemp.
Goodbye."
Kemp is his name.
Oh, Kemp. Yeah,
Kemp.
yeah,
Yeah, no, I love it, dude. I love how he's like, when Kemp is like driving his car and he thinks he got away. he's like,
yeah.
he's like, very good, Kemp. It's like, oh god, he's right there.
Oh, yeah.
The thing that I
Even
love
when
the
I was
most
a
about
kid,
the thing I love the most about the movie is like whenever characters like just look around empty spaces, it's like, is that guy here?
I know, man.
It's such a cool concept, man.
It really
Um,
is, man. Like in the
and they
remake too.
executed the
Like,
movie perfectly. That movie's like perfect. Like
yeah.
it really
Which
is.
one? The old one?
Yes.
Yeah. I know, man.
Mm.
Yeah, because you're just like, how the hell would you even deal with this? You're
You're
fucked. Like,
you're screwed. Yeah. And he's like really
yeah,
strong too. Like when he's like swinging around those police officers and everything. So this
yeah,
guy's is like really strong, and he's invisible. You can't. There's no way to get this guy.
no,
Yeah, they only got him by
no,
by chance. That farmer just happened to walk into his own barn and be like, "Oh, there's a guy sleeping in here," But that guy, that invisible man, he could have lived for years and years. And he could have become the world's leader or something.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think have you thought about what you would do if you could turn invisible? I've thought of that.
I've thought of that. Of course. I've thought about like all those like silly powers, like flying and stuff like that. Yeah, I've thought about all that.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna divulge anything here. It's for my own sake.
I'd haunt some people for
Yeah.
sure. There's a couple people
And
out
for
there who I think deserve a good
and
haunting.
just so that if one day I become invisible, or if one day I gain the power to actually do that, then nobody can be like, "Oh, that guy said he would do it on that show." I haven't
Mhm.
said nothing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, they would you'd
On
be in
food
court with it
tangents, there was a
with just
fellow, yeah, named
floating
Edward that said
shackles
that
in
he would do
court.
this and that. It's like, no, I didn't. Haven't said nothing.
I said no such thing,
Yeah.
sir.
So if food starts disappearing from like a local, restaurant, stuff like that, it wasn't me. I didn't say anything.
Mhm.
So
Yeah. Well, let's get into the movie of the
mm,
week, sir. How does that sound,
sounds good. Let's do it.
Edward? The movie of this week,
Jerry.
Jerry.
Jerry. Jerry Maguire. Mm.
Um, so the movie of the week was Jerry Maguire, the prequel to Lizzie McGuire,
Yeah.
starring Tom Cruise, directed by
Cameron
the guy who
Crowe.
directed Almost Famous.
Yeah,
What's his
Cameron
name?
Crowe.
Cameron Crowe.
Yeah.
Okay, I like Almost Famous quite a bit.
Yeah, Almost Never is a
What?
banger. It's like a certified. This is a certified classic at this point.
Yeah, definitely. I only saw that recently too.
I mean, it's
Who
been
want?
25 years since Almost Famous. I would say that's a classic now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who wanted to trade you for a pack of
A pack of
beer?
beer? Yeah.
I
Yeah.
saw it. I was there.
Yeah. He also made
I was there.
Say Anything, which you've seen.
Oh,
And we
Say Anything's good.
and we bought a zoo. Maybe we bought a zoo.
That's right. He did make Say Anything.
Mm.
He made. Let's see.
He started making much lately. He's been basically unemployed since like 2015 when he made the movie Aloha, where Emma Stone played like an Asian character.
Oh God.
Yeah, the movie, and
I bet
apparently the
that
movie,
went well.
not only is the movie terrible, I haven't seen it, but I can only assume it has a 2.2 on Letterboxd.
Oof.
All the reviews are terrible. Like one of the top reviews is God, the things I do for Emma Stone, but it's a 3 star out of 5 or whatever. Um, so like yeah, whatever. One and a half out of 5, so 3 out of 10. Yeah, that movie tanked his career. He hasn't recovered after he made that Aloha movie.
Wow. Wow. Emma Stone plays an Asian person.
Yes,
How is that even possible?
I don't know.
Wait, her character is. I didn't realize this, but if you hover over the names,
Yeah, I'll tell you the character. I'll tell you who they play. She plays somebody
yeah,
named Captain Allison Ng.
uh, I'm
That
gonna
was
have
part.
to look into this more because I don't really understand how that's even
Yeah, it's
possible.
like somebody that's like half Asian. It's like half Asian, half Hawaiian or something. Well, we takes place in Hawaii, I think.
Hmm.
I think the issue with that movie was that it was terrible, one, and two, it had a lot of like weird casting decisions. So people just like dumped on it, and then Cameron Crowe never recovered.
I just typed into Google is Emma Stone Asian, and AI overview says no, Emma Stone is not Asian. The misconception originated from the 2015 film
Yeah,
Aloha,
that tells you
part
that.
Hawaiian and part Chinese. Oh my
Yeah,
god,
that tells you
how
all,
tone deaf
dude.
is
That
that?
tells you all you need to know. All you need to know as to why Cameron Crowe hasn't worked again. That's all you need to
Yeah,
know. But we watched Jerry Maguire from '96 when he
yeah.
was still in his hot streak.
Mhm,
When he was still a hot commodity. He made Say Anything in '89, and he followed up with Jerry. He got Tom
mhm.
Cruise to work on it with him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Say Anything. That's a good movie. In your eyes. Um. Okay, so what do you think of Jerry Maguire? Good man.
Well, I'm gonna go a little in depth, but I'm gonna be brief in my in depthness. I thought it was interesting, right? Because this movie starts with narration, which I think that needs to be, emphasized, right? Like the movie starts and he's just narrating, and he's like, "Oh, this is an athlete, that's an athlete, and I represent the athletes. You know, the guy that's not in the picture, the guy that's cut off, that's me. You know, I'm the agent. You know." So there's this whole there's this whole like bit of narration that goes on for like 10 minutes, right? And he introduces us to the world of agents, right? Sports agents, and we kind of get a sense of who he is. And let me see. So Jerry Maguire, was who did that kid? Who was that kid at the beginning of the movie, Jay?
Oh, you know what? My Blair actually figured it out. I think he's the kid in Stuart Little.
Really? So he's not Drake Bell?
Yeah. What? Okay. Yeah, dude. I
Wasn't that Drake
forgot about
Bell?
that.
Didn't that kid look like Drake Bell? The kid that tells him to f himself.
Is that Drake
That's
Bell?
what I'm asking
Okay.
you.
Yeah. Because Blair was looking at the cast and she said Drake Bell is in this movie,
Yeah,
and I said, "Oh boy, we got to keep an eye
that's
out
Drake
for that."
Bell,
And then
the little kid at the
we
beginning. Yeah,
forgot about it. That's Drake. Okay, that kid who flipped him off.
Jesse Remo. Yeah, that kid. That's the kid I'm talking about. I know the other kid. The other kid was like a little famous kid because he was in Stuart Little. But that
Yeah.
kid that flipped him off at the beginning, that was Drake Bell.
Holy
Dude,
shit.
I looked at
So
that kid and I was like, "Isn't
he
that
flew right
Drake?"
under our noses.
Yeah,
You recognized
I
him?
recognized him. I knew it. Yeah. Look, it's in my
Wow, I did
notes. I
not
wrote,
recognize
"Is
him.
that Drake Bell?" I don't know if you could see it. See here somewhere.
Yeah, oh yeah,
I said, "Is that
that's
Drake Bell?"
hilarious.
So it drops
He
the F
flew
word.
right under he flew right under my
No, that
nose,
was
man.
Drake
I
Bell.
did
He didn't
not
fly.
even
He didn't
notice
fly
him.
under my nose. I was like, that looks like a man that will grow up to do bad things. Looks like Drake Bell. Friend of the
He's been
show.
exonerated though,
He
hasn't he?
did. Yeah. So it was all
We
you
should
know.
probably take that clip down
Yeah,
when we take him for
probably.
the out of respect for Drake Bell, not because I give a shit about
Yeah. Friend
anybody's
of the
like,
show.
you know,
Friend of the show, Drake Bell.
gripes.
Mhm.
No one yeah, no one listens anyway. What?
No, we have folks here that are we have some day ones. We have like at least like 50 people that are like tuning in. They're like, yeah, Film 10 did this out. It's just our
Like
friends.
50?
It's just our immediate friends and family. Um,
Yeah.
whatever. So we have that narration. We have Drake Bell, and then we have this like section of the movie where he does his whole like manifesto thing. Like in the middle of the night or whatever, he prints a bunch of copies. Um, and then we get introduced to Rachel. Is that her the name of the actress? Renee
Renee Zellweger.
Yeah, then we get introduced to Renee Zellweger because she's on the airplane, and then we go like, "Oh, this guy's engaged." Um, so then we get a little bit of like a look into his life, and it's like, oh, he's a successful sports agent, and he's engaged, and he's like the guy that everybody seemingly like envies. He's Tom Cruise. But somehow or another, he seemingly at the beginning of the movie grows some kind of a conscience, and that costs him his job. And then we kind of start the movie proper, right? After that, we don't get narration again. The narration's gone. So we basically have narration for like 10 minutes. Um, and then the movie starts, right? It's like, oh, it's him, and he's kind of freaking out, and he's trying to make it out on his own, right? And I feel like I got the idea of the movie. Um, like it's one of those movies, right, where you kind of know like where this movie's going. It's like, okay, he's gonna have to start from the bottom. And his true guy is the guy that he is like this Cuba Gooding Jr. That's like the one guy that he really has. His name is Rod Tidwell in the movie. So you know that Cuba is the one guy that he has, and he has this other guy that is like another football player, like a young guy. And he gets screwed out of that guy, because he didn't sign a contract, because he believed the word of the dad that was like, my word is like oak, or whatever. Um, so you're like, okay, in this movie he's gonna get stuck with Cuba Gooding Jr. and he's gonna get like humbled over and over again. And this is the kind of movie where at the end, both him and struggling Cuba Gooding, he's gonna make it. He's gonna be all right. This is a feel good movie. Like it's a feel good, family movie. Um, so there's that element of the movie that I enjoyed. Like I enjoy those kind of feel good movies, especially this being like a '90s movie.
Yeah.
So that to me was like a very big positive. Like I did enjoy the movie overall,
Yeah.
and I really liked Tom Cruise's performance. Like I thought he gave like a really solid, really good performance. And the number one thing that I can say about it too is that he had like a very good like ongoing like teary-eyed thing in this movie where his eyes would just kind of gloss over, and get kind of watery, but he wouldn't cry,
Yeah. Yeah.
and I liked that. I liked that element of his performance. It was like this weird thing with him where he was like always holding a little bit in, but you could clearly see his emotions. And then there's like instances in the movie where he has like very bombastic outward, you know, um, kind of energy and expressions, right? Like when he goes off on Cuba Gooding Jr. in the bathroom and he's like, if you just did this. So he has these moments, where he kind of breaks this whole kind of like charismatic agent guy, and you kind of see a little bit into him. Um, so I enjoyed him in this movie. I thought he was perfect, honestly. Like it is one of those roles that like I bet was like written for Tom Cruise because it was just such a Tom Cruise like performance, or not performance,
Yeah.
but role, and he was just great on it. But it just seemed like written for him. He was nominated for it for leading actor too. So I mean, he did great. And I also really liked Renee Zellweger. I'm looking at the nominations for this movie, and she was not nominated, which I find odd because I
Mm.
actually thought
Yeah.
she was really good. Like I thought she was like really good.
Yeah, her
Um,
performance was really
she
incredible.
was great, man. Like every
Really
scene,
nuanced too.
yes, yes, like every scene she was in, and like the her character was really just fascinating too because she's like this single mom, but she has a lot of like optimism. She's like a very optimistic character. And I really liked that about her. But she's also very kind of grounded and real. She just felt she felt like a very two-dimensional character. And I thought she brought a lot to that. I liked the kid too. I liked that Stuart Little kid. I thought that kid was like great.
Oh yeah. Yeah, he was adorable.
Ray, what's the name of the actor? Is he listed here somewhere? Yes, Jonathan Lipnicki. Yeah, he was the kid from Stuart Little. He was great, man. He was just like an adorable kid, and all his scenes with Tom Cruise were really great. Like it was clear that Tom Cruise was like really liked that kid, and that they just had like a great time.
Yeah.
And it made me wonder because it almost also felt like there was something to his interactions with Tom Cruise. A lot of the scenes felt like improvised. Like he was just him and Tom Cruise like riffing, and they just filmed it and they went with that, and I thought that was really good. Because I actually didn't like Drake Bell, and I feel like that's why Drake Bell was not the Ray kid because Drake Bell's kid was like too adult, like he
Yeah.
like told to F himself, and he was like, my dad has too many concussions, and I was like, this isn't. To me, that kind of felt like the kind of thing that like that guy's like wife would yell at Tom Cruise, but they had like a kid yelling at him.
Yeah.
And I didn't like the Drake Bell bit, but I did recognize him. I know I'm kind of being scattershot, but I'm trying to kind of focus on like all the positives of this movie. The performances were great.
That's fine.
Um, I think that's kind of like my main thing. The performances were great, and I think the performances uplifted this movie like greatly.
Yeah.
Because I think
Felt
this
like all
movie,
the scenes were compelling
yes, like the
by
scenes.
themselves.
Yes, yes, exactly. Like a lot of the scenes with Tom Cruise and with Renee Zellweger that were great, and a lot of the scenes between Tom Cruise and Cuba Gooding Jr. were great, and they had just like really fantastic performances and like really really great little dialogue like bits. Other than that, to me that's like my main positive. I also liked a lot of like the little needle drops in the soundtrack. I think other than that, I feel somewhat neutral about the movie overall, outside of the
Yeah, same
performances.
here. Yeah.
Because again, I felt iffy about the narration at the beginning because it was just like so much telegraphing. I know that it feels almost necessary because it's like a world that you know that the audience is alien to, but it felt intrusive, after the first 5 minutes because I felt like then we were getting too much of Tom Cruise's like issues or like his like inner conflict, right? Because then he's just basically saying to us like, I this was wrong, that we don't have a relationship with our clients and we're just like squeezing them for money and I need to do this, so I kind of felt like that was a little bit too much.
Yeah.
And then the movie just felt like it had a little bit of whiplash sometimes where things would happen in the movie that were not properly set up to the point where I would think to myself, like, is there like a director's cut of this movie where like the scene that makes this scene make sense? Like, we
My
randomly,
girl said the same thing. She was like, "Did we miss missed a chapter."
yes,
She was like, "We missed something." And
yeah,
I was
like,
like, "No, I swear to God, that, like, I didn't press a button on the
no.
remote. Like, this is it."
And to me, that was the main issue with Jerry Maguire, that it just felt like, and it's fascinating because this movie was also nominated for best writing screenplay written directly for the screen, and
That's
and I
crazy.
find that suspect because you know this movie
Well, the
had
scenes are expertly written, but it's
exactly
like it's a very disjointed movie. It's
yes
unfocused. I
yeah
was like, "What is this even about?"
yes like that's like my main gripe, that it's like you have gems of scenes, and you have fantastic performances, but the body of this is like it's like Quasimodo. it's like
Yeah,
it's like some
Frankenstein.
it's like some monster. It's like what is this? It's like
I
10
know.
minutes of the movie are this, and then you have weird scenes like when Tom Cruise got fired. It almost felt
Yeah.
like a dream sequence. Like, did you feel that way?
No, but I did feel his, mentor was like character was just weird,
It was
like,
weird.
weirdly sadistic about it.
Yeah.
It just didn't feel real. He felt like the Happy Gilmore villain.
That's what I'm trying to say. Like they're like
Where it was just like, "What? Why is he taking so much pleasure in this?
yes,
Like,
he
this is
did.
not nuanced at all.
And
This
it's
is
funny
just,
because
like,
the
weird."
scene started with him saying, like, you think this is like good for me? Like, at the beginning of the scene, there was like an implication, right? Where he said something along the lines of, like, I'm not getting any joy out of this. You're my mentor.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
but then he follows that up by being very like, like, I'm gonna destroy you. I'm gonna get all your cases. And it's like, oh my God.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
what is this? Yeah, what's the context of this? Why does he feel this way? Is
yeah,
he just a narcissistic sociopath? That's all I can conclude about it. He's
exactly.
just a dick.
So that's like, to me that's the main issue with this film, that you just have scenes that, although they may be interesting or great in and of themselves, that scene not included. Um, there is like no tissue bringing them together, right? Because out of nowhere, Tom Cruise is like a fiance, right? Like out of nowhere,
Mhm.
you know.
Yeah, I thought he was making that story up on the plane
I
at
did too.
first.
I thought it was just like a
You did?
hoax. I thought it was just a hoax. I thought that it was just like a thing. I thought that he was trying to get with that woman, and he was like making
Yeah,
up
that's
some.
what I thought. I thought he was gaming her, like,
Yes,
because he's like, "Oh, she'll like a married man, so
yeah,
I'll
but then
try to."
cut two, he has a fiance, and not only that, like he's like about to get married. And
Yeah.
suddenly we're like in his like little like thing that they're throwing for him, and he has this like conflict because in the video everybody's saying how he can't be alone or whatever, but that was like never addressed again in the film.
No, that's what I'm saying. Let me butt in here. Like
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying. Like at no every scene I was like, "Oh, this is what the movie's about." And then
Hmm.
the next scene I was like, "Oh no, this is what the movie's
Yeah,
about."
and it never got
Like in
addressed.
that
None of
first
those
part
things
I
got
was like,
addressed.
"Oh, okay, so this will be like a story of a guy who, like he's a player, he just hasn't found the right woman yet."
Yeah.
And then it's like, uh okay, so he marries Renee Zellweger, so I guess that's out the window. And then there's the other stuff, like with his mission statement, and it's like, oh, okay, so it's going to be about a guy who is a corporate shark, but he's going to start trying to do the right thing.
Hmm.
But then it's not really about that
No,
either. That gets kind of falls
because he
by the
gets
wayside.
fired,
And then I'm like, "Oh, okay, so this will be a sports movie."
and
It's
it's
like
not.
it's marketed as a sports drama. There's no
There's no
sports in it. Like
sports in
there's
this
no
movie.
there's no like white knuckled football scenes where you're like, "Oh boy." Like the football scenes are an
They
afterthought.
are an
There's no
afterthought.
like
There's like one football scene.
yeah. And then I'm like, "Okay, is this going to be about him?" You get where I'm going with
Yeah,
this.
and
Like
it's and,
it's just
and it
like
never
I just
delivers.
don't know what the conflict is. And then the fact, then I found it really compelling like when he kinda marries Renee
I
Zellweger,
did
and
too.
you can really see on his face, it's the look that I used to give my ex-girlfriend. when I was pretending to like her.
Yeah.
And like I could see it on his face. Like I knew that look where it's
Yes.
like you give that tight smile and you're like, I love you too,
Yeah, and
and
that
you're
was
just,
funny because
but you really
Cuba
know
Gooding
deep
Jr. saw
down,
it
you're just
too.
like,
Like that's why
I
he
just
like
don't
pulled
really
him to the
like this.
side and he was like, "You never had to talk, did you?" You know?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and it's like, you look at it, I just knew that look on his face where it's like, deep down, like this, there's just an expiration date on this. Like
Yeah.
this isn't go, but he just jumped into the marriage. But then I'm like, okay, so then when she breaks up with him, I'm like, okay, so this is going to be about him not jumping into things. But then he just gets her right back
Yeah, he
by
gets
giving
right back.
some lame speech.
Yeah.
And I'm like, what the fuck is this movie about?
And she said the
What's the
she says the iconic, "You had me at hello."
I didn't realize that was what this movie was, that what that was from.
I guess
I didn't
so.
realize that.
Yeah.
I guess.
But
Uh
but no, dude, like
in
like
so many Instagram captions of couples
yeah,
use that.
He's whole Cameron Crowe, dude. But yeah, dude, like that was like, I mean, I can't say better than you did. Like that's really what the issue with this film is, you know? Because again, it's like this movie started, and I was like, oh, I guess this is a movie about how Tom Cruise is the agent with a heart of gold, you know?
Yeah.
But then, like you said, then then like a fiance gets introduced, and I'm like, oh, he's getting married, you know? And like you said, then I was like, oh, I guess this is about how he has like issues with like, not being with around somebody or having people around him. But it's like, oh, but that's not really what this is about. It was just like an ongoing, like, like the movie just ongoingly being like, actually this, and like reframing his character to the point that he ends up being like three different characters in like 20 minutes, you know?
Yeah. Yeah,
And then
he seemed like a borderline multiple personality guy. Like
yeah,
he
but
just
then,
seemed like a very confused person, but in a
yes,
really unfocused way where it was like, what's he even confused about?
yeah,
And I just got to the end of the movie and I'm like, what did
nothing was
like what
resolved.
was his arc? What
Yeah,
was and then I even started asking myself, like, I was like, was this a flat arc?
yeah,
Like, not to get too screenwriting jargon, but
yeah,
I'm just using the jargon as a way to describe this. I know
yes.
there's room for lots of different stories, but I'm adding labels to it to describe complex things, like to attempt to describe
Well,
complex
especially
things. And
because,
I got to the end and I'm like,
yeah,
it was this a I really started gaslighting myself. I was like, was this a flat
yeah,
arc? Like, was the whole thing supposed to be that, like, he was always a really loving, loyal person,
yeah.
but then, and that was being tested throughout the movie, and then at the end, he's like, "No, I was right all along. You should be loving and loyal and love people." But that doesn't
That
work.
doesn't
Like, that's
work.
not really what was going on.
No.
I don't know. I just don't. I don't know.
I don't know. It's one of those things where it's like, and I don't think you're doing too much because the text itself, right? Like this movie itself introduces those questions, because it like challenges his character, yet there's no payoff, or there's no resolution. It's just like the movie just
Right.
introduces questions and then they don't go anywhere. That's really the issue, isn't it? Because like it really hit me like when he breaks off the relationship with his fiance. I was like, based on what? Like we just
Yeah.
have a scene where he just shows up at her place and he's like, this is over, and I'm like, why? Like in my head, I was like,
Yeah.
why? Just because a relationship with Renee Zellweger needs to happen? Is that why? It's like, 'cause
Right.
there's no why to this.
Yeah.
Like, he was
Yeah.
like happy with this
Yeah, it just
woman
feels
for all we
fake.
know.
Mhm.
Um, so I
That's
don't
why
know.
Almost Famous is a better movie, because Almost Famous is a very focused film.
Yeah,
And there's a lot of similar, like, scenes in that movie that where the dialogue's kind of weird, and it's like you leave a scene not quite knowing what you just watched.
hmm,
Like in Almost Famous, would you agree with that? Like, there's scenes in that movie where you're like, you watch it and you're like, what was that about? Like,
yeah,
what was that
for
really? What
sure,
were they trying? What were those characters trying to do in that scene?
for sure.
You kind of got to think. You definitely got to put the pieces together in Almost Famous,
Yeah,
but that movie's really focused. While it is, there's a lot of things that are open to interpretation. To me, that movie was really focused because it's like, okay, this is a movie about be trying to be cool versus being real.
right.
Like that to me, that's what that movie was about. Because there's that opening scene where Zoe Deschanel says to him, like, "You're gonna," what does she say? Like, "People are gonna try to tell you you're not cool, but you are cool," or something like
Yeah,
that. And then Philip Seymour Hoffman,
The
R.I.P.
goat.
says, like, yeah, says like, yeah, man, we're not cool, that's why we write about this stuff. We're uncool, and
Yeah.
like there's that scene, and then there's that scene where the main rock star guy is like, he's really high and he's like,
Mhm,
I'm talking about what's real.
mhm.
This real. This real. And so that's kind of what that movie's about to me. It's like
Right.
being your authentic self versus trying to be cool. Because that's what that the conflict with the band members are. It's like they're trying to present an image,
Mhm.
but then on that when during that plane scene, they all get real with each other for a minute and they drop the act.
Right.
That movie's very focused, and I felt the opposite with Jerry Maguire,
I
where it's like this
agree.
is really
I agree,
unfocused.
and I think that ultimately that's really the issue, and I think that is true of this movie in every sense, in terms of like not only in the writing but also in the filmmaking, because this
Oh
movie
yeah,
is all
okay.
over the place, and that's what I was trying to say back when he gets that scene where he gets fired. To me, felt like a dream sequence because it was shot very bright,
Yeah.
and they do a weird thing with the audio where he like hears like the ice melting in the water, and I'm like, what in the heck? It's like this
And
movie
then they
was.
start filming the background characters
Yes.
too, like the extras.
And I was
Yeah.
like, this movie was not this. And then we get past that scene and then never does it again. So and there's a lot of scenes in this movie that have this like very like, upfront, symmetrical close-up shots of the characters like faces, almost like in a Jonathan Demme like Silence of the Lambs kind of thing. And I'm like, why are we doing this? And that never comes back into the movie. So there's like a lot
Yeah.
of like choices that are made in terms of like the technique and the cinematic language of this film that are used in certain areas of the movie and then never used again, completely abandoned.
Yeah.
And so it
Yeah,
makes
when
us.
we're in his office, it's like all oversaturated. It
Yes.
looks like a studio comedy or
Yeah,
something.
and so
Yeah.
it makes it so the movie, in and of itself, visually, it makes it so the movie feels disjointed. Because one of the things that you have to do, or I feel like, in terms of like when you're a filmmaker and you're helming a piece, right, is like understand like how we're going to shoot this. Like what are we going to do? What is the cinematic language that we're going to establish? And how are we going to flex that? And how are we going to maybe break it in certain instances to highlight something? But in this movie, it felt like there was none of that. It just felt like it was all just random.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah.
which to me felt very weak. But again, like you said, like that to me is just an extension of the screenplay. And it's
Yeah.
fascinating that the movie was so successful and that Cameron Crowe was nominated for writing. Probably a bad idea to have nominated him. Probably put too many ideas in his head about what he could do. um, because again, it just feels like the movie was nominated based on scenes. It feels like the movie was nominated for writing based on having like 4 or 5 really fun, cool, great scenes.
Yeah, with like
Um,
somewhat non sequitur
right. And
dialogue.
because Tom
Like
Cruise and
I gotta
Renee
say,
and
like,
Cuba did the
yeah,
best they could with what they were given. I feel
yeah,
like they lifted that material like higher than it was.
yeah. I gotta say, like, that's one of my pet peeves, man. It's what I call non sequitur dialogue. It generally shows up in good movies, actually,
Yeah.
but it's like artsy fartsy dialogue where
Hmm.
people like they say it's just that. Like they say something and then what the character replies with
It's just some random
is
thing.
like, "What?" Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
I will say PTA I find guilty of that quite a bit.
Sure.
Like not to knock your boy, but he is
Yeah.
guilty of that. Like
Yeah.
where someone will say like, "I have to shit," and the other character will say like, you know, "It is necessary." I don't know. Even that would make sense. Someone that
Yeah.
says like, "I have to shit," and the other character says like,
Let's go boating.
"I have work to do," and it's just
Yeah.
like, "What?
Yeah.
What?" Yeah, and this movie does that. Almost Famous does it.
Yes.
PTA's movies do it. Like, and I get like that stuff. That stuff seems Oscar bait, like particularly best screenplay bait,
Mhm.
where it's like, oh, what interesting
Yeah,
dialogue,
for sure.
and it's
For
like,
sure.
well, this isn't how people talk either. I
Yes.
mean, like I get that like wooden dialogue isn't how people talk, but people don't talk this way either.
Right.
You know,
Right.
people don't have like such clever little quips or like just these weird non sequiturs.
Mhm.
I wish I wrote down an example, but I don't
Yeah.
really have
No,
it.
but I do I know exactly what you're talking about though. Like I know exactly what you're talking about. But yeah, I mean, I think that's what this movie boils down to. Fun scenes, great performances, um, and then just a very like disjointed movie in terms of writing and filmmaking. That's really what it feels like to me. I loved Cuba Gooding Jr. I thought it was great. It was weird, like the ending of the movie, like when he got hurt, because it almost
Yeah,
felt planned. Like, like in my head, I was like, did they plan this? But it was clear that they
yeah,
didn't plan it. It was clear that it just like happened. But it almost felt like it was like a plan. So
yeah,
I felt confused because I was like, everything turned out and they got the money and Cuba Gooding Jr. like got up and started doing backflips and dancing and I'm like, is this planned? Are they gonna cut to
yeah,
like a clip where they go like Tom Cruise and him are like, hey, just catch a thing and pretend like you're hurt and let's drum it up the drama and then we'll be a bang gangbusters. But then it was like, no, this was like an organic thing that happened. But I was
yeah,
like, this is weird. It felt like this was planned, but it wasn't. I don't know. You know. And then, like you said, Tom Cruise has this epiphany where he's like, he answers the phone and he thinks it's Renee Zellweger and it's not.
yeah,
And then
yeah. What I
we cut to him like
yeah,
running. He runs in every movie seemingly. We cut to him
you gotta
running
have them running.
and then he's at the house and he gives the romantic thing. You complete me, he said. And I
A
feel like
little
I feel
lame
like I feel like
speech.
that should have ended there. But then we cut to like a close up, like a profile close up, and he goes like, "We live in a cynical world." And I'm like, "What?
Yeah,
Why didn't this end that you complete me?"
yeah.
um,
I was at I
Whatever.
during that whole sequence when like the football player like gets knocked out and he starts dancing and then Tom Cruise gets the call. I was at peak confusion at that point in the movie, like where I was like peak confused as to what the ideas were that we were exploring in this story. And then when Tom Cruise opens his mouth to deliver that speech, I was
Mhm.
like, "Oh, good. Maybe now we'll get the themes of the
We didn't get
movie."
anything.
And it's like, and by then I'm like, if we do, it's gonna be a lot of like telling and not showing, but
Uh,
at least we'll get them. And then when he gives that speech, what's interesting? When he gave that speech, there's a scene in Dexter where Dexter, because as you know, Dexter is a serial killer who has a code. He kills murderers, but he is a serial killer, not all the same. He is he wants like a solid cover story. He's always looking for like a good cover story, like how to take suspicion off of him, right?
yes.
And at one point in like season 3ish of Dexter, he's like, you know what? You know what would be a perfect cover story is if I propose to my girlfriend and get her to marry me, and then I won't be like the loner, so it'll be even less suspicious.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh man, what a fucking scumbag. And there's like a scene where he tries to like, hint at marriage, and she's just like, yeah, what the fuck are you talking about? But then, like at the end of the episode, he has a scene exactly like that where he runs into the house and he's just like, I just realized, and he gives her like this whole "you complete me" speech,
Hmm.
but it's bullshit because it's Dexter and he's just a
Yes.
a freak who wants a cover story, but he's like he realizes how to put it across where he'll sound human. And his girlfriend's like, "Oh my god, yes, I'll marry you,"
Yeah.
and you're
Yeah.
like, "Oh, what a scumbag!" But I
Yeah.
thought about that during that scene, and I was just like, "Oh," because it just felt like so forced, and I was
Yes.
like, "Oh," I kind of felt honestly like more I felt a little more emotionally compelled during the Dexter scene, if I'm being honest,
Yeah.
because at least Dexter was doing something that was difficult for him.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know. Again, I think this movie is just all over the place, disjointed. Good
Yeah,
performances. That's it. That's
yeah.
that's my take on Jerry.
All right, cool.
What
What
do
do
you
you
rate
give
this
it?
movie? I think what do you rate this movie?
Like a 6, because I think it's still like above
I
average,
think so
as
too.
far as the scenes are written
Yeah.
and everything.
Yeah. 6 out of
Yeah,
10. That's where I'm at.
because it's hard to give this one like a 5, and it's hard to call this an average movie when it has such well written scenes and
Hmm.
definitely a more compelling romance than like the romance wasn't was compelling. I'll give it
Yes.
that positive. I
Yeah.
feel like I've only said negatives about this, but you nailed all the positives. I won't repeat. Like you pretty much said all of them,
Yeah.
like the ones that I agree with. But yeah, like the romance was not was
Yeah, they
compelling.
had
I
great
mean, it
chemistry. It
was
was
believable. Yeah,
really
they had great chemistry. I was rooting for them. Like just came together really naturally. It
yeah.
felt it had that little forbidden love thing to it where it was like, "Oh, no, you better not." Like,
Yeah.
you're like engaged
Yeah. And
and
you're
even when he
rooting for
wasn't
her too, because
engaged, it's like,
you don't want
you're
him to
kind of
do her bad, you know.
right, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so this movie's definitely above average, but yeah, it's like
Yeah.
6 out of 10.
Six out
I
of
would give
ten
it.
for
Yeah.
Jerry.
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 Yeah.
Yeah.
You wanna do our, recaps for the week?
Yeah. I can go ahead. I'll be brief.
Yeah.
As mine is just music as always. I swear I swear at some point, audience, I'll I'll change it up.
Just start
Just let
watching movies
just
again.
let me get through these albums. They just take so much time. um, I have been in the ends. I skipped over the National. But I love the National. If you don't know the National, they're kind of like a soft rock, like post punk band. And I love all their music, so you can listen to them if you want to. But I skipped over them because I've already like heard all their albums, and I went straight into Neil Young. Um,
Oh, nice.
yes, so I've been, which has been perfect because obviously it's like fall, early November, late October. So Neil has been perfect, and it's just obviously
Yeah.
just happenstance because it just happens to be that I'm in the ends. And so I listened to a few of his albums after the Gold Rush, which is his 1970 album. And Neil Young, for the most part, entirely is folk, Americana, and then just rock, blues. So if you like those genres, like he's your man. But I listened to After the Gold Rush. Favorite tracks here are After the Gold Rush, Southern Man, and Don't Let It Bring You Down. I really loved those tracks, and I thought that was a great album. Then I listened to the follow up to that, the 72 album Harvest, and from that I loved Harvest, Heart of Gold, and Old Man. And again, just great albums. Like I would give these albums like like 10 out of 10s, like 9 out of 10s kind of albums. Just great. Um, Following that, I listened to Harvest Moon, which I think might be his most like well-known one, 1992. Um, and from this one, I love Harvest Moon, obviously a classic.
Yeah.
And I also love Dreaming Man. So that's my roundup for Mr. Neil. Oh, and I also listened
Did
to On the Beach, his 1974 album, and I that's one of my favorite Neil Young albums. I was so really happy to listen to that. I love Walk On, I love Vampire Blues and On the Beach from that album.
nice. Did you didn't say Ragged Glory, right? You didn't listen to Ragged Glory?
Mm-mm. Do you recommend me
Mm.
to listen to that one?
That's a good one. That's widely regarded as, the first grunge album.
Huh. Okay, I'll add that.
First ever grunge album.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah,
Ragged
kinda
Glory.
interesting. You could definitely hear the pieces of, grunge
Yeah,
music in there.
1990. Okay, I'll listen to that.
Um,
I'll listen to that on my rerun. Like, cause the sad thing for me is that when I'm done with this alphabetical thing I'm doing, I'm just gonna go at it again. But with
yeah.
everything that's come out since I've been doing this, and that I've added, so that I can then go and like pick all those up, like all the leftovers.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'll do it again.
Holy shit, dude.
Yeah,
You're really tormenting yourself.
it's endless.
You're a disciplined guy.
It's endless.
Uh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, the grunge is like an interesting it's interesting how grunge kind of got started. 'Cause it's like it was pretty much like that album and then Apple by Mother Love Bone, which was their only album to date.
Hmm.
'Cause the singer died. And
Hmm.
then those kind of birthed grunge a
Well,
little
talking
bit.
about
Even though those big grunge bands were active in the late '80s, but it's like those two albums kind of established the sound.
yeah. Well, talk about dead singers. I followed this up by listening to New Order, which is the band that formed from the ashes of Joy Division after their lead singer Ian Curtis self-deleted. I guess I'll say that. So I listened to New Order. I love New Order. I've known about them for many, many years, and I've listened to their first album. I've listened to. I'm re-listening to them essentially. I've listened to this music before, but I listened to Power, Corruption, and Lies from New Order, which is their 1983 album. 43 minutes. This is rock and synth pop is what they're doing here. And I love it. I think it's great. I love the song Age of Consent, and I love the song Ultra Violence from this album. And then I listened to Low Life, the follow up to that one, 1985. I love Vigilantes from this, and I love The Perfect Kiss, and also Sunrise. And then finally, I listened to the internet's biggest meme album. Forever it has been it has been like the meme, right? Great album, but it gets memed to high heaven. I've listened to Neutral Milk Hotels, In the Airplane, Over the Sea. 1998 folk rock. I am very familiar with these folks. I listened to this album for the first time about 10 years ago. So it was fun re-listening to this. Best song here is In the Airplane Over the Sea, and also The Two-Headed Boy Part 2. So if you like folk rock, this album's iconic, for better or worse. It's a great album, but it has been memed to high heaven, especially because of the cover. I don't know if you've seen that cover before.
It looks kind of vaguely familiar, but
Yeah,
I don't know.
yeah, yeah. In the Airplane
Maybe.
Over the Sea.
It looks
Um,
kind of like a yacht rock kind of cover. It
yeah.
reminds me a little bit of that. What the hell is that? It's like a '70s rock album that has like a flamingo on the cover. The hell is that? It's
70s
gonna
rock
drive me
album.
nuts now.
I don't know.
'70s rock album with flamingo on cover. Um, let me see. Oh yeah, yeah, Christopher Cross. Yeah. Anyway,
And but that's it. I also listened to their first album, like their debut on Avery Island, and I didn't enjoy that as much as in the Airplane Over the Sea. But that's been my listening to. After this, I'm going into Nick Cave, who I might also love, and I'll probably spend like 2 weeks listening to his albums. So
oh
there's
man,
that. But you
you
can go
sound
ahead.
defeated.
Yeah, I know. It's just, it's
It
yeah.
hasn't defeated you though.
No.
Yeah, you're just plugging away.
Yeah.
You're like the guy with the pickaxe and the mines, just
Yeah, dude. It's like that.
fucking
It's like that
John
curb thing. It's
Henry.
like what is it? Like plunder the depth. Yeah,
Plumb the
and just
depths.
plumbing the
The
depths, dude.
depths of hell. Yeah.
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 Funny enough, I had Curb on like in the living room today, and yeah, I was just the first few seasons. I gotta say, dude, every time I rewatch, some episodes in those first few seasons, Susie, cute as hell, man.
Yeah.
Jeff
Yeah.
did Jeff didn't treat her right, man.
Yeah. I know. I know
That
that.
guy
I know
didn't
that
know what he
you're.
had.
I know that you're a Susie believer.
I'm a Susie fan,
Yeah,
dude.
Jake's a Susie believer.
Susie was fine as hell in those first few
Yeah,
seasons. I mean,
he didn't
Cheryl,
do
of course, but like
he didn't do
Susie,
justice to Susie.
no, dude. Jeff didn't appreciate what he had, man.
Yeah.
Well, he still, his character. They never split up in that
No.
show, but
No.
yeah. All right. Well, yeah. So my recap. Um. Yeah, I threw on a bunch of stuff last week for Halloween. For the Halloween. Uh. As of this recording, it was last week.
Yeah.
For everybody listening, we record on Thursdays, and we obviously premiere on Mondays or Tuesdays if you're listening on Apple. So that's why there's sometimes like a disconnect when we say like this past weekend. It was actually the weekend before.
Yeah.
It's not ideal, but dude, we've been recording on Thursdays like forever. So
Forever. Yeah.
it
Yeah.
would just feel so weird. It's like a nice like weekend kickoff kind of thing too.
Yes.
But anyway, so like last week, the week of Halloween, I was watching, a bunch of, I had my desk set up in the living room and I just had the horror movies going. I really used it as an opportunity to throw on not only some rewatches, but also some of the like slasher sequel crap that, like, I wouldn't normally wanna sit
Yes.
down and watch, but it's
Yeah.
like, it's good to, like, be able to say that I watched it and just have it on, like, in the background, and it's
Mhm.
like 'cause that like so anyway, the first of that was Child's Play 2.
Yes. We've seen
Not bad, I
we
mean,
watched the first one, I think, together.
yeah. Yeah, the first Child's Play is great,
Yeah, it's alright.
the second one, not quite as good, but, dude, I gotta say, man, like, first of all, Chucky's voice sounds like Plankton from SpongeBob. I don't know if you ever noticed that, but,
SpongeBob!
yeah, SpongeBob! That, like, hurts my voice to do Plankton, but, no, like, dude, because it's like, it's a guy, it's like a serial killer
Yeah.
dude, a grown man who's, like, stuck in a doll.
Yes.
So it's just like this little doll, and you'd think it would have like a high pitched voice, but it just sounds. It's just this middle aged dude just screaming and cursing like a fucking
Yes.
sailor.
Yes.
Dude, I swear to God, in that movie, I was laughing so damn hard. Whenever something bad would happen to Chucky, and he would just go like, "Ah, what the fuck? God fucking damn it!" And
Yeah.
it's just this little doll,
Yeah.
dude. Hilarious. That dude, Child's Play. Those movies. I mean, I haven't seen any of the other sequels. I've only seen the second one, but like that shit was hilarious. It
Yeah.
worked really well as a horror
I
comedy
have
because the first
seen
one's, like, more played straight, isn't it?
Yes, it is. I have seen a lot of them. I've seen most of them. I've not seen the second one, funnily enough.
Oh,
But
wow. Interesting.
but for me, I would have to rewatch them to truly appreciate them because I watched a lot of them, like, when I was, like, a teen, and I think at the time I was just like, "Oh, this is just schlock," and I was just, like, watching
Yeah.
it like schlock, and I think my ratings for those movies reflect that. I don't know how if I would appreciate it more than that now, but at the time
Yeah.
I was just like, "Oh, this is fun," and it's just schlock. That was my
Yeah.
thought process about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I do appreciate the slasher subgenre in the sense that I just love the idea of you just have this killer who just keeps getting killed and somehow they just
Keep
keep
coming
coming
back.
back.
Yeah.
Through like this weird supernatural loophole. It's just compelling, man. It's like, I like that.
They're in
It's just like,
limbo.
oh shit, he's just always gonna be out there.
Yeah.
It gives it a very like urban legend flair.
Yeah.
You know,
Yes.
so I love like the slasher subgenre in that way. It really is like a special thing. And
Yes.
as much as I couldn't stand Terrifier, it is cool to see it alive and well in the modern day. I think they should like ramp up some other ones and make them well like some of these older ones are made
Yeah.
because they really did a good job with a lot of these like 80s slasher movies. They're actually better than you think. They're better than you would think. Like,
Yeah.
I watched Jason Lives the week before, I talked about it on the last podcast,
Mhm.
and I was like, "This is actually pretty this is not bad. Like,
Yeah.
this is entertaining," and, like, there's some strokes of brilliance in it.
Yeah, they had
Um,
standards. I feel like now if they make
it
movies I feel like now if they made that now, probably just be, like, truly just terrible.
Yeah, yeah, like, there's just no artfulness to it. There's no, like, compelling use of music or shadows or
Yeah.
lighting or suspense. It's just like how many cool kills can we get and witty dialogue. That's how 2020's filmmakers think with when it comes to that stuff. They forget that those movies actually had compelling suspense scenes and compelling set pieces and just good sets and good atmosphere. Um yeah, and they I feel like the people who try to carry on those traditions are like, "Oh, I'll just make it like good kills." It's like, who
Right.
gives a shit about the kills, man? I
Yeah.
mean, it's like 2 seconds of stuff. Like, what's the story? What are you gonna make it feel like, you know?
Right.
What kind of music are you gonna use? Like, make it special, man. Anyway, plowing ahead, in the words of Bill Burr. I mentioned
Wow.
Invisible Man already, so we already talked about that.
Yes.
I rewatched Rosemary's
Yeah, I saw
Baby.
you I saw you rewatched it and you gave it a 9 out of 10. Very nice, Jake. Very good.
Man,
Incredible movie.
dude,
Perfect
I
movie.
forgot how scary that movie is,
Yeah.
man. Like, I really didn't remember it being that fucking creepy.
It
I
is.
really have never honestly, I can't think of that many movies where I feel such a sense of dread for the main
I'm
character.
happy that the rating went up for you because you had that at an 8. It is truly like it is truly one of the
Yeah.
goats, man. Like I know that I
Yes.
think it only made it to like our second elimination round on our horror tier list, but it's always one of the
Yeah.
goats. It's like one of the great movies.
Yeah. What a sense of dread in that
Yeah.
movie.
Yes.
It's interesting because you start that movie it's like it feels at first in those first 10-20 minutes like you're just gonna watch another sort of like Vincent Price era 60s horror movie. It even has the guy in it from House on Haunted Hill, you
Mhm.
know?
Mhm.
And then it's just it's kind of it's like Halloween, it's like Night of the Living Dead, it's like Psycho in that way that you're just it's so ahead of its time. Like
Yeah.
you're really like, wow, I'm really watching a different movie for this kind of
Yeah.
for this era,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah. It is.
Like I get that
It
feeling whenever
is.
I rewatch. Yeah.
It's wonderful. It really
I get
is.
I get that feeling every time. I think I even had a conversation like this with one of our commenters, but I every time I rewatch like Halloween and just that opening title sequence with that jack-o'-lantern and then that brilliant score,
Mhm.
I'm just like, This doesn't feel like 1978, man. This really feels ahead of its time. It just
Yeah.
feels like I'm watching a different movie."
Yes.
Because like other stuff that
Especially
was being made around the same time, it was like those, they were still making like The Exorcist is kind of like that too, where it's like what else was being released at the time, and it's like they were releasing like those Hammer horror
mhm.
films, which like those are great
And
in
then
their own
suddenly
little
you have a
way, but
banger.
yeah,
Yeah.
but then you get this just something that, and Rosemary's Baby is like that, where it's like, man, this really is like 15-20 minutes in, you're like, hang on, this is ahead, man. This is ahead of the curve.
Yeah.
But like I actually had like a pit in my stomach while I was watching it again. I was
It's
like,
perfect.
oh God, like I had this sick feeling like, dude, you just feel so bad for this poor woman, man. You fucking hate her husband too.
Yes.
Ugh,
John
God, I hate that
Cassavetes.
guy.
Yeah.
Is there a more Weasley character in
Yeah. He has a
cinema
perfect face
than
than John Cassavetes for
than
that.
yeah, than Guy from Rosemary's
Yeah.
Baby?
Guy.
Funny enough, I gotta look into this because I don't know if this is it seems like it's gotta be on purpose. So you remember in Silence of the Lambs, there's that character Dr. Chilton who's like the head of that institute and he like kind of messes with Dr. Lecter, like Hannibal.
Mhm. Mhm.
Well they had that character is in the show Hannibal, and the guy they cast and the way they did his hair and
He looks
dressed
like
him
John
and everything,
Cassavetes.
he looks exactly like Guy from Rosemary's Baby.
Yeah.
I think, and he's the same type of character. Like he's like he has better morals, but he's like still a weaselly little kind of coward
Yeah.
in that show. And I really wonder if that was done on purpose, honestly. Um, but anyway,
Hmm.
I want to head here. Michael Jackson's Thriller. I rewatched that music video.
John Landis, right?
Yeah, dude.
Yeah.
I rewatched. I just threw on that music video. Man, that yeah. We've talked about it before on the pod, but
Yeah.
like that music
It's
video
a
is
great
not to be
music video.
fucked with.
Mm.
Yeah, that shit. The music video is scarier than a lot of horror movies, than some horror movies. Like, I think if you were like, would you rather, if the objective was to be the least scared, and someone was like, your objective, Jake, is to be the least scared possible. Would you rather sit at home alone at night and watch like, The Bye Bye Man or Michael Jackson's Thriller?
I
I'd be
will
like,
watch the Bye Bye Man.
probably The Bye Bye Man,
Yeah.
because I think Michael Jackson's Thriller might scare me a little more.
Yeah.
Like, there's some creepy shit in that music video.
Yeah.
Um, and then I rewatched Pumpkinhead.
You sent me
That's
a
a
clip of that
great.
movie.
Yeah, you should check that one out, dude. That's like not your average creature feature. That's a really well made monster movie.
I'll add it to my list.
Um, yeah, it's really well done, and it's similar to Evil Dead, where it's just got a perfect autumnal like fall feel to it.
Mhm.
There's some just great shots and yeah, just incredible atmosphere, great cool monster. Um it does everything right as far as like building up the suspense, not showing the monster too much, and all of that stuff. And it's a compelling revenge story too. That's kind of the main idea of the movie is revenge. And then I threw on Texas Leatherface, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3.
Mm.
Um, Once again, like it's one of those sequels where it's like, okay, it's the third Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Uh, star- has Morgenstern in an
Really?
early role. Yeah, he plays
Vigo?
one of the like hick family members,
Huh.
cannibals. Um, Again, similar to like what I was talking about with Jason Lives. It's like there's some compelling stuff in it where it's like there's some brilliance here. It's not great, but it's like there's some again standards, like you said, like you said it best, dude.
Yeah.
Standards.
Yeah, they had
They got
standards.
standards. Hmm. And yeah, Texas Chainsaw Massacre 3 had some good suspense, good you know, um thrill scenes. Yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
Um and then I rewatched a Film Tangents rewatch, Return of the Living Dead.
Yeah, that's right. We watched it on Film Tangents.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah,
last
I showed
year.
it to my girl
Yeah.
the night before Halloween because I was like, "Oh, this is like a perfect Halloween movie because it's like a I don't think it takes place on Halloween, but it's basically a Halloween
It's
party."
literally a Halloween. Yeah, it is a Halloween movie for sure. For sure.
Yeah. Yeah, it's like a bunch of people having like a weird kind of spooky party in a cemetery. So it's like,
Yeah.
yeah, it's basically a Halloween party horror movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, we already did a review on
Yeah,
that
it's a
movie,
fun
but
movie. It's a fun time.
it's so much fun. It's so much fun. And again, good suspense. There's some white knuckled scenes where you're like, oh shit,
Yeah.
get the fuck out of there.
Yeah.
Um,
It's a fun movie.
yeah, yeah. And then on Halloween, it kind of threw it on the background. I don't even know if I could really count this as a watch, but we threw on Killer Clowns from Outer Space in the background. It's like an '80s schlocky horror movie. Um, my girl had some experience with that when she like saw it when she was a kid, and
Okay.
so we threw it on. And I don't know, like I can't give it a proper review. It was very background. I almost feel like I'm cheating by even adding it to my letterbox. But like there's some cool you could tell they had some creativity
Some
going
cool
into that movie. You got
clowns.
these like yeah, you got these aliens that come down in the form of clowns, and their spaceships look like carnival tents, and they put people they capture their prey and put them in cotton candy spider web thing. It's like Billy, but it's kind of cool.
Yeah.
And then over the weekend, the day after Halloween, I really needed something stupid to watch that night because I was operating after Halloween. I was operating at a lower brain capacity.
Sounds like a good time for a Michael Bay movie.
Yeah, well, it's funny you say that because the movie was Transformers from 2007.
Shia LaBeouf.
So yeah,
Yeah.
dude. Yeah. Once
Yeah.
again, even 2007 standards. There were some standards.
Yes. Yeah, I
Like
think we lost them recently in the past 10 years, but we had them.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, there were some standards in this movie. Like there's kind of a weirdly compelling Band of Brothers format in Transformers, where it's like you have all these characters scattered around the globe. Like you got Shia LaBeouf's character, then you got like in Washington, you got like the politicians and the Secretary of Defense and all those people, and then like in the Middle East, you got the soldiers, and they all slowly come together until they're all in the same location in the climax, in the climactic battle. Like
Yeah.
it's a good format, and
Yes.
yeah, the original Transformers is funny. It's and I will say this, like, because Michael Bay, he made the first Transformers movie with this sort of there's kind of a seriousness to those movies, like
Mhm.
where there's scenes where the Transformers are fighting, or like that Scorpion robots like going after the soldiers, and it's like, dude, this feels really intense, and it feels like it's taking itself seriously. And I will say, then there's some clashing tones where it's like, then you'll have this scene where like Optimus Prime and Megatron are trading like weird dialogue where it's like, the humans don't deserve to die, Megatron. And like
Mhm.
Megatron's like, then you will die with them, and it's like, this feels a little out of place, like with the rest of the movie.
Yeah.
But my takeaway from that was these small bits of tone clashing are worth the rest of the movie being well made and feeling grounded and somewhat like it's taking its material seriously.
Right.
Because nowadays, what they try to do is they just are like, we can't take this seriously. We just got to make the whole thing goofy. It's just got to be goofy, goofy, goofy. There's going to be no, we're not, and we're doing away with, there's no lens flares. There's no dark or moody lighting. It's just going to all be goofy.
Right.
And it's going to be bright and colorful, and people are going to crack jokes every 5 seconds. And it's like, all right, yeah, I mean, you don't have clashing tones, but the whole thing kind of sucks,
Right.
you know? And it's like, I would rather just do what Michael Bay did in the first Transformers movie and just have a couple little moments where it's like, oh, it turned into a kid's movie for like 3 seconds,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
Um, and then the other night I rewatched Swingers, and it's
Hey, you're
fun.
so money
Yeah.
you don't even know it. Yeah.
Yeah. That would
Jon
have been a good pick for
Favreau.
this week too. I really wanted just like a warm kind of comedy for the as we head into November and head out
Yes.
of Halloween. But
Yeah.
yeah, one thing I got to do with Swingers is I got to look through that whole soundtrack and add all of those songs to my
Yeah, that
jazz
song is great.
playlist.
That it's funny. I'm not looking at Swiggish right now on Letterboxd.
Yeah.
One of the top reviews is just a guy saying "baby, baby, baby, baby" like a
Yeah,
thousand times.
I saw that. Yeah. Yeah,
Like
they
my
say that
god,
so much.
baby, 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 baby. Oh my god, dude.
This is Vince Vaughn, dude.
Yeah.
Vince Vaughn, like, baby, we're gonna go to this party. There's gonna be a lot of beautiful babies there.
Yes. Yes.
Baby, you're so money. Baby,
You're
we're
so
not.
you're
You're
so
so
money. You
money,
don't
baby.
even know it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a
Yes.
fun one, man.
Yes.
Um, and then real quick on the music side, I started listening to the new Westside Gunn mixtape, Heels Have Eyes 3. I can't even keep up with like in the whole like on alternative hip hop realm, those guys like put out
They put out too
so
much
much
stuff.
music.
It's always something. Something's
Yeah.
always out.
Like Currency, he's like been putting out a mixtape a month for like the past 4 months. And he literally has got he just names them the date.
Hmm.
The albums are just the date. That there's no album title. It's just
Yeah,
oh
it's too much
seven thirty.
output.
Yeah, like his last album was like 1031. That was the name of it.
Yeah.
And it's like you can't, so I can barely keep up with all these guys. But that's what they got to do. They're not in the trap's like the mainstream thing. So these like boom bap guys got to just churn out stuff to keep making money. I respect it.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, like Heels Have Eyes 3 by Westside Gunn is like decent so far. This series that he does is really like very low key. Like there's not a lot of bangers. It's just very low key, like very chill kind of beats,
Yeah.
like very loungy kind of beats. And then I listened to an EP called World Gone Mad that Damo Genesis dropped like 2 months ago. And that was pretty good. Like good yeah, good jazz rap beats. Again, jazz rap, sample heavy boom bap,
You continue
jazzy
to be the one
beats.
Domo Genesis fan.
Yeah.
The one guy
Yeah,
listens to Domo.
he's probably my favorite out of Odd Future.
Yeah.
Like cuz like Earl,
Fascinating.
I voiced my opinion on him a couple weeks ago where
Yeah.
it's like he's getting old. It's like, all right, you're making
Yeah.
like the same album over and over again. And like
Yes.
Tyler, I'm not vibing with like what he's been putting out the last couple albums. I'm just like, eh.
Yeah.
Um like Damo, I like it quite a bit. And then Frank Ocean just doesn't make music.
No, he hasn't
So
put out music in 10 years.
Yeah,
So
he just doesn't make
it doesn't
anything.
make anything.
Mm. Um, that's it for me. What you got for us next week, man?
Next week, I want to keep a theme going. Um, and I'm not gonna reveal the theme of why I'm choosing this. This is inspired by our watch, but we watched today, or rather, the movie of this week by Jerry Maguire. So this was inspired by that. We're gonna watch this next week, and we'll see if the theme, or rather why we're watching it, has revealed itself. Um, I've been drinking the Finnish long drink this episode, but specifically the black one, which has 8.5 alcohol. I thought I would mention
Yeah.
that. Very high alcohol content. um, Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Nice.
1998, Terry Gilliam. That's next week's episode.
All right. Let's do it.
Let's do
Thanks,
it.
guys.
See ya, everybody. Next time.